Hey guys, welcome back. It's Jack here from JRP Custom Painted Furniture. We've got another project on the way, and this is something that I think everyone has in their house. An old tall boy. Now, this one was given to me by my auntie who was downsizing at the time, so let's give this a little bit of a makeover. So we're going to start with removing these handles. Now, I quite liked these handles. They were quite solid and quite heavy, so I think I might give them a bit of a polish up and we might be able to reuse them at the end of the project. We're going to give the unit a really good clean. So I'm just using a standard degreaser and a microfiber cloth, and I'm just giving the unit a nice thorough clean before I remove all the drawers and we get started. Now, because this isn't a real wood piece, or well, I should say it is, but it's very thin. So I'm just using 120 grit because we're going to give this piece an all over colour. So I just want to scuff sand it. So I'm going to grab my orbital sander with 120 grit on it and just go over it nice and lightly to make sure that I don't ruin the finish in any way, shape or form. It's in excellent condition, so I don't have to worry about too many scratches or anything else like that. So it should be a nice quick sand. I've grabbed my microfiber cloth again and I'm giving it a good wipe down just to remove some of the dust that was caused from the scuff sanding. Now that the unit's nice and clean, I'm using the Zinsser primer 123 and we're going to hand paint this unit with our first coat of primer. I'm usually a sprayer. I usually have my Wagner out, but today I just felt like doing a little bit of a paint, plus I had another project on the go that I was in the middle of spraying, so it was just easier to hand paint at this stage. Now when I hand paint, I don't use anything special. I have a generic synthetic brush and I just put the paint on and I roll it out with a 4mm nap microfiber roller, and that makes it nice and smooth, and then I never have to worry about any brush strokes, so it gives the same effect as a spray gun. While you're watching me prime all these drawer fronts, if you could hit like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. The more the merrier on this channel, and if you have any questions at all or any comments, please write them below and I'll do my best to answer everything and get back to you as soon as possible. So now that all the prep work is done, I've decided that I only need one coat of primer. Usually I do 2 coats, but this colour is on the darker side, so I've decided that one coat will do, and I've done the appropriate prep work, so I have no hesitation that this colour will not hold up beautifully. So I'm using a silvery blue. Now this is actually a mist tint that I got from Bunnings warehouse, which for those of you who are in Australia, you know Bunnings well. For those of you in America, it's like our equivalent to Lowe's or something like that. But it's just a mist tint and I love the colour, so I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. And once again, I've just got my standard synthetic brush. It is just a generic brush. It's a no-name brush that I got from Bunnings again. And I'm using a 4mm nap roller, microfiber, and that's smoothing it all out so that I get that beautiful spray look. You can see when I get the roller out how it just leaves a flawless finish. And that's pretty much what I'm aiming for with every piece that I do. Hence the reason why I love using my spray gun, because you don't get any lines. But when you're using a roller and it's a nice, clean, fluffy roller, you're going to get the same effect. So don't worry too much about that, and don't worry too much about brush strokes. As long as you've got that roller there, you're skipping all the problems. Now, one point I'd like to make that I should have made earlier, but I didn't, in between each coat of paint, whether it be your primer, your normal colour or your top coats, I always like to give my unit a light sand using 240 grit or above, just to make sure that I've got no bumps or anything in my work and that I have that beautiful smooth finish. It also gives that buttery feel to your project, which is what I'm looking for. So now we're going in with our second coat of colour. You can see the silvery blue now, so it really is a beautiful colour, and I think with the original hardware on it, it will look fantastic. Now I've had a little bit of a change of direction here. I was looking at the unit and I thought to myself, all one colour, no raw wood, nothing on it. It's looking quite bland. So I wanted to add something different. So as you can see looking at it, it looks plain. So I want to spice it up a little bit. So I scooted down to Bunnings and I grabbed some little trims. So I'm going to add some little trims just around the top drawers and see what we can come up with. So here I'm on the floor of my workshop and I've got my saw. I was going to cut it all on the circular saw outside, and then I thought, you know what? Let's just do it inside. It's nice and warm inside because at this point it was freezing in Melbourne. So I just thought, sit in the nice warm workshop and get it done. So pretty much I've just got the trim here. I'm measuring out each corner and each length I need, and I'm cutting on a 45-degree angle. Now, because we've used a saw to cut this wood, I want to give it all a quick sand and make sure that the edges are nice and clean. You don't want any shards of wood from the saw just ruining the corners on this corner work. So I've just got my orbital sander and I'm just giving the edges a nice clean up. I've grabbed a spare piece of 120 grit sandpaper that I had lying around, and I'm just giving the middle part of the trim a good sand, just so the whole piece of wood is sanded back and prepped, because I'll need to prime it and then paint it again before I go on to the next step. And here I'm just measuring everything out, making sure it's right. I do have my glue on hand. I'm just using Selleys wood adhesive, and I have some masking tape with me as well. And I'm just going to place everything down, lightly glue it, smear it across with my finger just to make sure that all the parts of the wood underneath are actually covered with wood glue. And then I will use the masking tape just to hold it down until our wood glue is dried. Now this glue only takes about 30 minutes or so to dry, so it's not dried fully, but it's dried enough that I can actually work with it. So the next step, once we have it all glued down and made sure that it's completely stuck, is I'm going to grab out some Timbermate, and this is a wood filler, and I'm going to fill the little holes in the corners just so that the joins join up perfectly. So as you can see, that trim just made a little bit of difference on the top. It just added a little bit of interest to the piece, and I'm happy with that. So now I'm going in with the Bondal Monocel Clear varnish in the satin. Now this is a water-based product. I've mixed a little bit of the blue that I've used to paint the unit in with the water-based varnish, and that will prevent there being any smokiness on the unit. And as you can see, I've got my Wagner spray gun out. I love my spray gun. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I love using my spray gun. It's fast, it's fun to use, and it gives a beautiful finish every single time. Now that that's done, I'm moving on to these handles. So I've got some Autosol. Now this is a metal polisher. These are metal handles that came off the unit to start with. So I'm going to put a little bit of Autosol in it. Then I'm going to use a clean rag and I'm just going to rub it in. And then once that's done, slightly buff it off. And that will give that nice polished metal look. Make sure you wear gloves when you use these types of chemicals because it's just not good for your skin. Let's get these handles back on and let's finish this piece. Now cast your minds back to what this unit looked like beforehand. Now have a look at it. It looks fantastic. The trim is the perfect detail to finish this project off. The hardware looks amazing and the colour is just stunning. Now this sold in like 3 days, so I was so happy with that. So once again guys, thank you so much for watching the channel. Please like and subscribe and I will see you next time. Bye.